Well, I'm Rosemary Rossetti, and you're here in my home today, the Universal Design Living Laboratory that my husband Mark Lader and I built. I'm a horticulturist who got hit by a tree, and that's the irony. In '98, suddenly a tree collapsed and fell on me while I was riding my bicycle on June 13th. The injury is at T12L1, which is really low on the spinal cord. Being incomplete, I do have the use of my legs. I can walk. I use crutches, I use canes, I use a walker. It's not real functional. It's just occasional. And I use a walker here in the house every day to keep myself exercised, to stretch out the muscles. Well, I purchased a Honda Odyssey in July 2013 after a lot of research. We went to a lot of different dealers. We looked at a lot of different manufacturers. Braun, of course, was the van that I had had for 14 years, but I had to retire it. It had 130,000 miles and it was time to let it go. So we looked at all kinds of vehicles, all kinds of modification companies, and selected Braun again. It was just an obvious winning company with the same features as we had before, with the ramp that came out the side. But now we wanted to look at what van. We had three choices. Was it going to be the Dodge Grand Caravan again, or was it going to be the Honda Odyssey, or was it going to be the Toyota Sienna? It was a very positive experience. MC Mobility is a little drive for me. I would have liked to have had something more closer to my neighborhood. It takes me about 45 minutes to get there. But my goodness, they were just dealer extraordinaire in terms of the personal service, in terms of the expertise, knowing the features, knowing what I was looking for, and being very careful and showing me options and explaining answers to my questions. And when I first saw the van as it was parked there, I just was in awe of the integration of what they had done on the modification with the ground effects. I mean, the van just did not look like it had been tampered with. It looked like a factory Honda applied process. No one could tell based on the paint or the integration. By having the step and all the ground effects put on, it just made that van more SUV-like than minivan-like, a bigger presence about it. It was a grand effect that Mark and I both had when we looked at it. We were just like, wow, this is really nice. I give this advice all the time to people that don't have a van yet and are still using their cars. What's more important to you? Your shoulders working and not in pain, and your independence and your healthfulness, or you're holding on to that car? That's the practicality. You're going to wear out your shoulders over time because of your lack of being able to be mobile. You're using a wheelchair, you're using a walker, you're using crutches, you're using canes, you're transferring on and off toilets, on and off beds. You're putting a lot of stress on your shoulders just with everyday operations, let alone getting in and out of a car and picking up a wheelchair and folding it and putting it over the top of you or putting it behind you. I just want to tell people, buy a van earlier than later. I was a sports car driver previously and loved speed. I loved cornering. I loved having an air effect, either T-tops or sunroof or something. That's what I was used to. And so suddenly to have to sell my car and say goodbye to cars forever, that was hard. To have this big van in my possession now. It's like, what am I going to do with this big van that I'm driving around? I don't need all this van. I'm just me. Why am I having this big van? It's hard to park. It's hard to figure out what to do with it. Parallel parking, that's going to be impossible to learn. Will it fit in all the parking garages? It's going to take more space now because of the ramp. How am I going to find spaces for this thing in a parking lot? It was a lot of problems mentally to kind of cope with that change again, to say it's all part of this new life. Get over it, adapt, and move on.